Madam Congresswoman, before we jump in, I just want to just introduce everyone. Chairman Imran Khan, thank you so much for coming on this Zoom call at this very critical time for Pakistan. And it's 11 p.m. in Pakistan, in Lahore, where you are.
Wow.
And Madam Congresswoman, he's survived several assassination attempts. He's got 3 bullets in his right leg. A fractured tibia, but he's on this 11 p.m. for you. Chairman Imran Khan is the most popular Pakistani leader.
Oh.
And amongst Pakistani Americans, he is by far the most popular. Like 99% of Pakistani Americans support him. Chairman, Madam Congresswoman Maxine Waters is one of the most senior Congresswomen from California. She was elected 16th time in November 2022, and she's a huge friend of Pakistani Americans and Pakistan, and of democracy and human rights. Also on this call is the president of the Pakistan Council, Adnan Khan, a fellow Hsonian, and also related to both our families as well, from Afghanistan and then Jalandhar, and then to Lahore, then to Los Angeles. So please, let's begin.
Maxine, first of all, I have heard of you, so I'm really glad that I'm talking to you at probably one of the most critical times in our history. We have one of the most bizarre situations going on in this country. No, I won't bore you with the details. The reason why there was not the one assassination attempt, I received 3 bullets in my leg, which were meant for the top body, but just one person in the crowd, when the guy pulled out the gun, he just in time put his hand on the gun. So rather than bullets hitting the top body, they hit my legs and other people. There were 12 other people injured. And then there was another assassination attempt recently. So why is this? So, for you, it's important. No? You see, my government was removed by the ex-army chief because the military establishment is very powerful here. So he conspired with the people who are in power right now, and a lot of the army is powerful, the secret agencies, so they're toppled by government. But what happened was that it's unprecedented in our history that hundreds and thousands of people came out in the streets the next day, against this, what was a coup. And it's never happened here before. Normally when a government goes, people celebrate. And for the first time in our history, the army has last 60 years of Pakistan, the army has ruled 3 times through martial laws. And then half the time the army has, in 60 years, ruled Pakistan. And the other half has been these 2 families, which have, taken turns to rule this country. So I was an outsider which broke through to the 2-party system and got into power. Now, the reason why people came out was it was the best economic performance of a government in the last 17 years, despite 2 years of COVID-19 and despite inheriting a bankrupt country with the biggest ever current account deficit. So now the situation is, why is my life in danger? Because what has happened is that the military establishment, along with the current lot who are in power right now, these are the same people who had alternately ruled Pakistan for 30 years, but they were against each other. Now they're all together against me, plus the army, the military. Military establishment means one man, the army chief. Whatever he decides, that's what the army does. So now what has happened is that they thought that this wave of popularity would go down with time. But now 13 months down the line, it is the gap between us and the other parties has widened so much that they are petrified to hold elections. Now, according to the constitution, my party was in power in 2 of the 4 provincial governments. So we dissolved our governments, And the law, the constitution is very clear. Elections have to be held within 90 days. That's the constitution. No ifs and buts. It's the fundamental right of, the first fundamental right is the right to vote. So 90 days there have to be elections in these. That's 70% of Pakistan we are talking about. The two provinces form 70% of Pakistan. Now what has happened is that the government refused. The federal government would refuse to hold elections. So we went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court then passes a verdict and announces a date of the elections, which is on the 14th of May. But what is happening right now is that the government is openly defying the Supreme Court verdict. And the reason is they're petrified of elections because they're scared they're going to lose. Because in all opinion polls, the gap has increased so much between me and these 12 parties, my party and the 12 parties, that they're all petrified of the election. So they're willing to violate the constitution in order to avoid the elections. But the second thing what is done, and which is why really, Maxine, it would be very helpful, a statement, and if you could verify what I'm saying by yourself. We have the worst crackdown in our history. No democratic party has ever had such violation of their fundamental rights. There's such my people facing custodial torture. In someone who this country has known for 50 years, who never had one case of breaking the law. Just in the last few months, I have 145 criminal cases, including terrorism, including blasphemy, including sedition against the state of Pakistan. Just in the last few months, I have 145 cases. And on top of it, that's why they tried to kill me, because the popularity of party is so huge now that they feel that the only way is to get rid of me. So that's why I had these two attempts to kill me. So what we want is, from you simply find out by yourself, but, this will be, you can find out that what is going on is unprecedented. One of our best investigative journalists was hounded out by the military establishment and then killed, assassinated in Kenya when he was out. Two of my close, one of my chief of staff, the other one of our most senior senators, they were picked up, abducted, faced custodial torture, stripped naked. Another one of the head of my regional head, one of my ex-ministers, he was picked up. He faced torture. There were at 1,500 of our workers in jail, and the media, complete clampdown on media. They do not allow me to come on live on television. And election has been announced in France, in Punjab, the biggest province. Yet I'm not allowed to do live speeches. They've clamped down on the media. It's the worst. We've never seen such abuse of our fundamental rights and our democratic rights as happening right now. So we would appreciate here, because it makes a lot of, it goes a long way when someone like you, Maxine, when you give a statement. And all we want is the rule of law, the constitution, fundamental rights, and especially custodial torture. What we are facing right now is custodial torture. They pick up our social media guys, because I'm banned on the main media. The social media is very active. So they then pick up social media activists and then, put them through custodial torture. So basically, we just want a statement highlighting what is happening, and that would really help us.
Well, thank you for having the trust in me to engage me in ways that perhaps can be helpful. Thanks to Imran Khan, that we have developed a strong relationship, and that we have the highest respect for him, the work that he does, and for Pakistanis. And so I am more than willing to respond to what you have just shared with me with my government, with the State Department. I don't know why the State Department of the United States has not picked up on this and in some way tried to engage. The State Department has a responsibility, as you know, to know what's going on and to be all about the business of supporting democracy around the world. And what you have just described certainly is an attempt to dismantle democracy in the way that you have known it to work. When you talk about the Constitution being ignored, denied, when you talk about the level of disrespect and opposition to the law that has been known and exercised for so many years, it must be, and it certainly is alarming. Your life is in danger, and the life of so many who think like you think, who act like you act, who have worked with you, their lives are in danger too. And so I humbly not only respect that you have this trust in me, I will exercise not only everything that I know how to do, but I will certainly engage with our State Department immediately to update and to give us the reasons why they don't seem to be involved in recognizing what's going on in Pakistan. But give me an opportunity to support my friends and to support you who are trying to fight so hard just for what is right. What is the Constitution? What should happen? And I will not only take every effort to do that, I will report back and I will respond and I will let you know exactly everything that I'm learning and what I think can happen.
Maxine, thank you very much. That's all we want. We just want what the values propagated by the United States about Constitution, rule of law, democracy, fundamental rights. That's all we want, because unfortunately, all are being violated right now. And brazenly, I mean, the government is actually going against the Supreme Court. It's never happened here before. The Constitution is clear. The Supreme Court is the final authority to interpret the Constitution. And they gave this verdict that the election should be on 14th of May, which has been openly violated by the government. So therefore, just words from you would make a lot of difference, because it carries a lot of weight. When Maxine, someone like you speaks out, it makes a lot of waves in our country. So thank you very much.
I assure you my voice will be heard. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Salman.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Congresswoman.
You're so welcome, and thank you. I'm on it. Thank you.
Thanks, Congressman.
Thanks, Adnan.
Yes.
जबरदस्त हो गया ना पापा